He also proved just how unimportant this was with a bunch of interviews over the weekend. First, on Friday, he talked with Reuters about his new job.
Well, I loved my previous life. I loved my previous life. I had so many things going. I actually, this is more work than in my previous life. I thought it would be easier.
Oh. How about that?
He thought it would be
How about that? It turns out being leader of the free world is harder than licensing your name to luxury meat. Delicious. But that's not all. He trumped on.
I thought it was more of I'm a details-oriented person, I think you would say that. But I do miss my old life.
We all do, sir. I get it, man, because in his old life, he could spend his days golfing, insulting people on Twitter, and hang out with his family. Also, now. That's not the only reason he's bummed. It's also because I can't drive anymore. And you know he drove all the time. He's a great driver. Yeah. I mean, just look how comfortable he is behind the wheel. That's exactly how you drive. Hands at 7 and 5, mouth open, screaming. Red light. Thanks, Obama.
Open road.
Of course, he addressed the proudest achievement of his presidency, it existing, because in the middle of discussing Chinese-American relations with the Reuters reporters, he stopped to hand out copies of what he said were the latest figures from the 2016 electoral map, saying, "Pretty good, right? The red is obviously us. The blue, obviously Democrats, except when it's water. Hard to tell. Aquaman, personal friend, great guy." There's probably. There's even a picture. I colored these myself. These are all placemats. I had them. Can you put that photo back up? Can we see that again? This is my impression of a T-Rex. Little hands, like this, like this. What? Everything's in here. Everything's in here. I'm proud to say that the official defining 100 Days interview took place right here on CBS with the nation face himself, John Dickerson, yesterday. And he started off with North Korea.
Mr. President, you and the administration said to North Korea, don't test a missile. They have tested a missile. Is the pressure not working?
Well, I didn't say don't test a missile. He's going to have to do what he has to do.
So our official policy is you do you. What can I say? Hitler gonna Hitler. Kim Jong gonna un. Then, that's not this, out of this. Then our friend John Dickerson asked Trump what he thought of Kim Jong-un.
I can tell you this, and a lot of people don't like when I say it, but he was a young man of 26 or 27 when he took over from his father. A lot of people, I'm sure, tried to take that power away, whether it was his uncle or anybody else. And he was able to do it. So obviously he's a pretty smart cookie.
So Trump thinks Kim Jong-un is a smart cookie, to which all of North Korea replied, cookie? He's a monster. The point is he's a monster. Fat little monster. Now, Dickerson gamely tried to get Trump to commit to releasing his tax returns finally, but it was the same old song and dance about under audit. So, I'd like to rephrase the question. Mr. President, can you talk about your tax returns as a metaphor for your penis?
I have a very big tax return. You've seen the pictures. My tax return is probably higher than that from the floor. When you look at other people's tax return, even other wealthy people, their tax return is this thing. My tax return is this high.
We get it. You have a huge tax return. But you know what would be nice? A full release. But I'm not into that scene. Later in the same interview, Trump gave Dickerson a tour of the Oval Office.
This is the Resolute desk. It's a great desk with a phenomenal history. This was FDR, it was Ronald Reagan, it was Kennedy. There's some great presidents behind this desk.
Yes, and if you put your ear to it like a seashell, you can hear all of them rolling in their graves. And President Trump and President Trump explained that visitors are awed by the power of the Oval Office.
In one case, I won't say who, somebody you know very well, the head of a major, major company. The person came into the Oval Office and started to cry. This is a tough person, by the way. Came into the Oval Office and started to cry.
Mr. President, if I came to the Oval Office and saw you sitting behind the desk, I'd cry too. Now, there was a nice moment when John Dickerson talked about some previous presidents' thoughts with Trump, other men who have stood in that room and their thoughts about the responsibilities of the presidency. But I'm not quite sure that Donald Trump understood the message.
George W. Bush said the reason the Oval Office is around is there are no corners you can hide in.
Well, there's truth to that. There is truth to that. There are certainly no corners.
That's what he meant.
Okay. Let's be positive. At least he knows his shapes. He knows oval. Okay. He knows the Pentagon and rhombus because it's Reince Priebus' middle name. Reince Rhombus Priebus. And on the subject of previous presidents, Dickerson asked Trump if he still stands by claims that President Obama wiretapped him.
You stand by that claim about him?
I don't stand by anything.
It's true. He doesn't stand by anything except the dressing room door at Miss USA pageant.